clearly saying that the pound dollar is going to move higher. Now, essentially, whatever happens between this area, I'm not going to be too concerned with. You've got these three major candlesticks here that tried to break through this 150-250 area, so or 150-150 area, 150-180. But again, this was at the beginning of April. Since then, we've moved considerably higher, and our base now sits around the 153. But to allow for market volatility, I'm going to have my stop about 80 pips below that. Another thing, a question that I'm often asked is, what do you use for leverage in Forex? Well, Forex and leverage, we can see here that I have $48,000 in my account. The position size I've taken is $50,000, which is $5 a pip. So essentially, I'm not using any broker leverage here at all. And what I mean by that is that if I had $50,000 in my account and I did a $100,000 position, well, my leverage would in fact be 2 to 1. Because, and what I mean by 2 to 1 is that I would have two positions available that I've taken to my available capital. So if I have $50,000 in my account and I do a $100,000 trade, my leverage is 2 to 1. Whereas if I did a $50,000 trade and I had $50,000 of equity in my account, the leverage is 1 to 1. It's 0. Now you'll see some people that will have a $50,000 in their account, and what they'll do is they'll do $2 million or $3 million trade. Well, that's very dangerous in the Forex market, because what you're doing is you're using that available broker leverage, and that's not a good strategy. So we've reviewed two of those currencies, the Euro US and the Great Britain US, two potential trades. We've entered one trade today. We're hovering around the -4. Again, the webinar is going to come to a close soon, but you know, the main thing is that we've looked at this, we've done our analysis, and we've got into a position based on what we're seeing here. Now, crude oil contracts, that's another one. We were selling last week. Now, that's done very, very well. The S&P 500, we're still sitting at that $1,500 profit. Now, some of the other commodity currencies, one of the recommended trades today was Australia-US. That's moved a little higher, but is that a trade that we should be looking at getting into? Well, I think it is. And what we'll do is, before we close off the webinar and take some questions, I'm going to have a quick review of that Australia-US dollar. Now, again, the Australia-US dollar, it's a commodity-based currency, and it can certainly be volatile, that's for sure. Now, over the last little while, Australia has moved, it's moved in between that 94.05, 93.85, and then it's consistently moved lower. So what we can see here from Vantage Point, this is a contrarian position that I've put out. The 3-day crossing over the 8-day was the sell signal here. Right here, we can see that the market has been unable to get past this area. Now, I've got this here. Everybody can see this is on 3 months. Now, to get a clearer picture, I'm going to back this out to 6 months. Now, looking at 6 months, you can see how repetitive this market can be. Right here, 94.05. We were at this area back in beginning of November. So what we've done is we've hit this 94.05 area, and we've proceeded to move all the way down to the 85 area. That's a huge move. We're at 1,000, 1,200 pips. That's a big, big move. The market's then subsequently moved higher again. Now, we're back up in this same area, but the point of interest here, looking at the Vantage Point software, last time it got up into this 90, just above this 93 area, we also had a huge sell-off down into this area. So the first sell-off took place to the 87.50 area, but when it went back up, it was a lower high, and then it was a much lower low, down again, like I said, to this 85 area. Now we're moving back up again. We've already hit this area once and subsequently moved almost 250 pips lower. So based on probability and based on what this indicator from Vantage Point is telling us, this suggests that unless your Australia-US can get past this area, this 94 area, and make a sustained break of this area, then the probability of a bigger move to the downside is certainly on the table. And that's where some of the analysis for getting into this is. I'm looking at price patterns from Vantage Point. Each time it's gone up there, Vantage Point has put a sell signal. Vantage Point has now got a sell signal technically on Australia-US, even though the medium and the long-term indicators are not fully supporting that. This trade will need time to develop. We're going to see some volatility, but it's still there. So with that said, what we're going to do here now is I'm going to take some questions. I'm sure, hopefully everybody has some questions here. Now, again, the market's going to be volatile today, but that's fine. This is the volatility. We can use that to make money. And again, if we can use these short-term market fluctuations from things like Goldman and you know, it's a very good way for us to get into positions and focus more on the intermarket technical analysis part of it. And you know, like a lot of people will get very, very caught up on what's happening with incidents like that, things with the euro. I had a question the other day about the euro is if the IMF gets involved, if all that thing happens, is the euro going to strengthen? My view remains on that we got a sell signal on euro US and we got a sell signal on the euro currency futures about the middle of November. So things were fine in Greece then, things were fine. Basically the euro was at its peak of strength, and then all of a sudden it started to turn lower around that 149, 150 area. And if you look back at the recommended trades for the day, that was a trade that was recommended back in that November area based on the analysis of the Vantage Point software with the US dollar index. All of these things played a big part in me making that call. So, you know, for myself, I basically use the Vantage Point software more or less as my own personal financial analyst. And it's a thinking machine, gives me the prices I need, and from there I can advise my clients and my own trades. So I'm just waiting here to see if we have, I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any. Now again, the market, we're going to see some market volatility here today, but I think we're still going to have a pretty decent trade, so hopefully everybody can watch the pound dollar. I think we're going to see the equities move higher, and I think we're going to see probably the pound gain some strength. Okay, well, it appears we don't have any questions here today, so I'll take the time right now to thank everybody for coming out this morning. I know it's early and everybody's in different time zones, but again, thank you for coming out, and I look forward to seeing everybody here at the next webinar.
Thank you, Greg. If the audience would wish to give Greg some applause, you do have the means to do that through the raising hand icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. We thank Greg for his time this morning. You'll find the webcast on Trader Planet later this afternoon, and we have made arrangements to email the link to everyone in the audience. If you're interested in seeking further information on Vantage Point Intermarket Analysis software, we've made that very easy for you. Just select the Click Here link on this final slide. This will place a request with our friends at Market Technologies for free market forecasts and additional information on the software that Greg has featured in this presentation. This concludes today's session. Thank you for attending, and all of us here at Trader Planet wish you a profitable trading day.